Radio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
And then on top of more recent news, and this shit even like surprised the hell out of me. Recently come out that J-Rock and Bread. If you're a boxing fan, you know who those two are. It turns out like after 10 years, they are no longer working together, and that came out of nowhere. Like I didn't hear like nothing. I didn't hear no. Not even like a whisper. And even then, Brett too, because Stephen Edwards. If you ever read, obviously he writes for certain websites, and he has a
boxing scene. I think is the primary one right now.
Yeah, the boxing scene is the primary one, and I remember reading something like someone asked him about J-Rock, and he talked about, oh yeah, J-Rock's good or whatever, blah blah this. He wasn't, I wasn't expecting to say, hey, J-Rock and Brad are no longer working together.
But he kind of hinted at, I think in the last mailbag, he kind of hinted at how the coaches don't sometimes get the respect and how a fighter has to get to a level to discipline themselves because, what kind of the trainer gets paid by the damn fighter. So you got to really respect your trainer if, he's going to discipline you and let you know when you're falling out of line and all this shit. So he kind of alluded to it, but even then, like, you didn't think, they weren't cool anymore.
Yeah, no, and like I said, Brad, literally took J-Rock from like the beginning of his career. He mentioned that, no one was really fucking with him like that. And then how they made history together, and obviously, that was the pinnacle last year when J-Rock, won those belts off Jarrett Hurd,
who was looking unstoppable.
Yeah, pretty much he put a lot. At the time, he put a lot of the flaws, a lot of things that say J-Rock didn't have. He put all that shit to bed with that performance. As Hurd was a motherfucker by that time to deal with and to fight. And then of course, it all blew up. In the beginning of this year, where J-Rock lost his belts to Rosario, who also will be fighting in a couple of weeks with a brutal 5th round TKO.
But that's the thing. If you listen to Brett on the podcast, he almost make it sound like it started before the Rosario loss, and how soon as Williams, won those titles, and he kind of elevated into the next pay bracket, and the entourage got bigger. They used to have a whole bunch of leftover plane tickets. Because it was just them two, nobody would rock with them, and now that shit kind of changed. So it really feels like the KO from Rosario was like the icing on the cake. And I remember how Brett was saying earlier in the year, like he wanted to run it back immediately.
Yeah,
I think J-Rock didn't, and I'm like I don't know.
Yeah. That was kind of odd because usually a champion would want to run that back. So when J-Rock,
especially when you got mad at the guy that you just beat and he didn't want to run it back.
and the worst thing is too, that was J-Rock's homecoming fight, and he got knocked out in Philly. Like that. So
that shit hurt. Like they couldn't let that shit down, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to fight Godzilla in Philly now.
Yeah.
and win,
Yeah, Philly niggas be the craziest, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, he needs to run it, but he refused it, and pretty much he just gave more credibility to Rosario as champion,
And basically making it seem like the whole Jarrett Hurd fight was a fluke. Like he had his Buster Douglas Tyson moment or some shit, because, Brett was saying in the interview, because it's on the Showtime Boxing podcast, the recent one, just to refer to the interview I'm talking about.
Word.
He said he's seen he's seen J-Rock put on that performance in the ring, in training like 50 times. So he knows what he's capable of and all that. So, but in my head, I was like, yeah, but how many times he was in the gym with Jarrett Hurd though?
Word. So it's sad that this partnership seems to. I don't think it's outgrowing, like, because usually it's only one fight. Like, outgrowing would be like they would have issues over several fights and shit's not working. This is just automatically. This was just a setback, and and you would think that they would just continue working, but apparently, like I said, when we've seen it before, obviously with Triple G and Abel, and then
but that kind of took off of one fight, like one little saga kind of killed that and at least Triple G was being active, like with J-Rock and Bread, like they only fought once, which was the Herd fight, and then they had a whole year. They didn't really do shit after that, so I guess the idleness brings forth a different energy and more people get involved. I don't know, like.
Yeah. So
and then
idle time is the devil's hands.
Yes, sir. And then this year again, he fights one time, and then 8 months later, you have all this idle time. So a lot of bad thoughts could manifest during that time. So it's a little sad, but it's more like, wow.
At least Brett can get back to the real now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, he was, because, what I'm saying? Like, when he was with J-Rock, it was a wolf, man. Because, like, I fucks with Brett, but he be saying, like, what I'm saying? I lost respect for Brett when he said certain things, like, just to take up for J-Rock's feelings. Like, when he insinuated that that Charlos were dirty. Like, nah.
Yeah, it cost him a damn uppercut ass whooping. And then it's like they using the whole J-Rock KO to promote the Charlo pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They used it for Rosario and Charlo. I'm like, God damn, like how you hype up two different people for two different fights? Like, oh my goodness, like, bruh, like, that's the thing. It's like those losses were bad, and it's just I feel where Brett coming from. It's hard to live down that second loss, especially if dude ain't want to get back. Because I guess Heyman told him he was gonna fight the winner of Rosario and Charlo, so like fuck it, why try? But he wanted to fight somebody else first. But I'm like,
yeah. In the meanwhile, J-Rock though, I guess he was getting eye surgery to remove some of the, not like eye like retina surgery or anything, but to remove some of the, I guess like some sort of surgery so he doesn't get cut easier, or the scar tissue, to remove scar tissue, stuff like that. So that's the reason why he hasn't been fighting, because I think he elected to do that too. But I mean, even then, like, even if he gets this fight against either Charlo or Rosario, I mean, without Brett in this corner, like, I mean, it's gonna be interesting too, because J-Rock.
Yeah, I'll say interesting because the man took two devastating losses with the man in his corner, so. I mean, I can't really just say, hey man, you guaranteed to lose now.
But if Brett is talking about, dude is getting a big head, and then there's some other niggas that asserted themselves because the money came, and I know you were surprised too that J-Rock actually, that money was actually a factor in terms of J-Rock was actually really making that much. Yeah, I mean, because I don't be studying these dudes' purses, but for money to be issue, I didn't think he was banking like that, and I know, I'll be paying dudes, but damn. Well, no, because like I said, I mean, I think I follow Bread. Bread follows me, and Bread used to put some advice on there saying that J-Rock was like buying real estate and stuff. So that's probably maybe real estate. If you do that, you can obviously make yourself. I heard about J-Rock making good moves like that, but damn. Yeah, apparently, like, and that's smart too. If he's doing that, more power to him. But yeah, no, you just hate to see. But I know J-Rock, J-Rock is starting to get a little worn. I mean, he's not long. I mean, I know he mentioned before that he wanted to go to 162, which is a whole different animal. And he may not survive that either. He may not survive being in that division for long.
barely survived 154. How's he gonna survive 160?
Yeah,
Barely survived. I don't know if he did. Fuck.
you know what I'm saying?
He got knocked out so hard that it killed a 10-year relationship.
Yo, man, it really is sad though. I mean, we don't know what Brett. Brett will probably find another fighter to train or whatever. But yeah, no, J-Rock obviously, if he's got to do his thing, he's got to do his thing. But,
who do you think would be a good fit for a trainer for him?
Man, I mean, J-Rock's biggest thing. His biggest thing is he eats uppercuts. I mean, he needs someone to, he's not the most offensive person in the world. I mean, but you can devise plans for him, and such as like the one for when he pulled off against Hurd. But yeah, no, it's that. I know he's had weight issues. He's had injuries, and. Sometimes he takes punches he shouldn't be taking. That's what led to the Rosario loss, especially uppercuts. Someone has to. I mean, these are like little flaws. I mean, I don't think he needs a style tweak. Just needs someone to correct his flaws. I mean, that could be pretty much anyone. But I would imagine he's probably gonna use a Philly trainer of some sort. I just don't know who, or who would actually work with that dude. My guess is it probably won't be like someone. It probably won't be like it'll probably be like a little known trainer. I just have that feeling.
Maybe he needs new surroundings.
What's that?
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needs a new surrounding.
Probably, but you can't tell a Philly nigga anything, bro. Philly niggas.
This is true.
Philly fighters do what they want to do sometimes. I don't.
Now you sounding like bread.
Honestly, we've all seen the Philly. I mean, we've all seen a Philly fighter how they move, bro. Like someone really just be in that mind state. They just do what they want to do as long as it's Philly.
No, I feel you, bro. That just makes it interesting, but at the end of the day, like. I hope both could just move on and learn from this shit.
Yeah,
And J-Rock is still a name. He could, he could make it interesting at 160. I hope, or at 154 still. But he just got some two big, exclamation points at damn 154.
Mm-hmm.
What about? I was thinking of I know he probably won't, but I feel like Buddy McGirt would be a good fit for him, honestly.
I mean, Buddy has retooled up a lot of fighters, and if somebody need retooling, it could be J-Rock.
Word, or he could go train at the Kronk, the new Kronk,
I don't see him being a Kronk fit.
Why you say that? He got the right hand for it.
Yeah.
He'd probably get his ass in there with Robert Garcia, be a pressure fighter, and say "fuck it."
I feel like I guess either Buddy McGirt or a John David Jackson would be a good fit for him.
Oh, John David Jackson's been pretty quiet lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Outside of because he's training Clarissa, that's all. That's the only person I can think of off the top of my head. He's training right now.
Yeah, cause he ain't got Kovalev no more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nate Campbell's retired.
Yeah.
So,
and Kovalev actually went to Buddy McGirt too. So we might have something with Buddy McGirt.
You said who went back to Buddy McGirt?
Oh, who? I mean, I won't say went back. I mean, he went to Buddy McGirt, Kovalev.
Because Buddy's a good. As I was saying, Buddy's a good trainer. So.
And he done retooled up a lot of people. He done gave a lot of people, Gotti and Tarver, got their shit together under Buddy McGirt.
Yeah. He extended Gotti's 15 minutes. Because
he made that shit 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, because there was a time where Gotti actually showed the boxing along with like the brawling. Like, I mean, there was actual.
And he always had it, you
Yeah.
know. It just he stepped up in competition and it kind of fade when he would have his, you know, the struggle moments. He revert back to the club fighting, brawling shit.
Right, and that which made him the type of fighter, you know, legend that he is today. You know, but it was detrimental.
Hall of Fame legend he is today.
That's a different argument. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Buddy McGirt though, I mean, it would be, you know, he probably would actually make a good difference, you know, in that because he's gonna need it. Like if God forbid if Rosario wins, like J-Rock cannot take the man's power, so it's not like, I mean, if he doesn't come in with anything that will help Rosario respect his power, Rosario's just gonna just walk through him again, and it's gonna be ugly. So. Yeah, you know, you hate to see it, you know. J-Rock, I mean, at least, I don't think that. I mean, they're not beefing with each other. It's not like what Jacobs and Rosario are doing right now, you know, which is just like, you know what, you know, like this nigga's just short of man, this, and this nigga's getting a big head. He ain't paying me no more and do all this stuff. You know, it's not negative or Triple G and Abel. So let's just hope that at least they handle that shit like men, and then maybe someday down the line, if J-Rock, you know, they actually reunite and do their thing.
But see, that's the thing. It's like Red said, there's no beef. You know, they're not enemies or nothing. But he kind of put, you know, J-Rock in a bad light with the whole.
I don't know. It seemed like he said
getting all Hollywood and shit.
I don't know. Like he says there's no beef. I'm not gonna say there's beef. It almost seems like I interpreted it as you know. There's no real malice, and you know, I wish you well, but I don't fuck with you, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like once you say someone is all Hollywood, or they turn Hollywood, that's kind of hard to, you know, to take back, and then other people look at that. That's an indictment. That's a damning indictment on him. Yeah, because now other coaches is like, damn. I might get this call and I don't know, should I take it? I mean, if this nigga Hollywood, he ain't listen to Brad, you know, he gonna listen to me? So yeah, like I definitely feel, I don't think it may be as strong as how Jacob's old trainer and Danny Jacobs is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess we will see, you know, going forward. You know, I mean, we're patiently waiting for J-Rock to return and, you know, for Brad's next moves and everything like that. So
yeah, you know, wish both of them the best of luck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, boxing's a dirty game. Shit happens.
Like I said, I'm just glad. I'm just hoping now that fucking, you know, Brad could now go back to keeping it 100. So that's why I always fucks with Brad. He always keeps it 100. But when it was with J-Rock, he was, you know, tiptoeing around to fucking. Cause I fucks with J-Rock. Like I always enjoy his fucking insight and shit on Twitter. But sometimes when it comes to boxing and shit, he be mad sensitive. So I could see why Brad was.
Both of them are sensitive. Like that's what makes this shit so weird. Like they're like made for each other. Like I remember this the same year, the same day J-Rock lost. You know, Brad was saying he had the best chance at beating Canelo at 160. This the same 160 that has Andre, Golovkin, Charlo, Munguia, all these people. And then you saying J-Rock hasn't even fought at 160, so it's like bias a little much. I mean,
yeah. Like I said, when after J-Rock got, you know, knocked out by Charlo, and fucking Brad tried to insinuate that fucking Charlo might have been dirty, like that was
before the fight too.
That was a whole shit. That was some real whole shit. Like I'm not gonna lie, that was some real whole shit.
Yeah, it's sour grapes to me, man. Like yeah, so I don't know, like because they say that J-Rock had no comments, he didn't respond, so. The way both of them move, I wouldn't be surprised if he say his piece later on.
Where?
I mean, this is boxing. Everybody got to get the last word. Hollywood? What the fuck you mean I'm Hollywood now, nigga? Like, how many other motherfuckers is trying to go to you and train?
I deserve to be Hollywood.
I'm the one who was taking them punches from Hurd and still beat his ass. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's two sides of every story, and then you got the truth.
Right. And you know, in time they will all, you know, it will all come out, you know, in some fashion.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I think move on to our final topic.